Welcome to my daily review. Today is Monday, May 6th, the day after Cinco de Mayo, and today was a very good day for the Nasdaq. It was up 192 points or 1.19%, but and it closed at 16,349. You can see the volume 13% below average daily volume and below Friday's volume, which was below Thursday's volume, which is below Wednesday's volume. So we have a rising market in declining volume. Does that matter to you? It bugs a lot of people. Um, you know, I'm ambivalent towards the volume. I mean, this looks like a follow-through day here on Friday. It didn't have the volume though, and then powers through today and closes at the high. If I look at a 5-minute chart, you can see how this thing closed today. And you can see it opened higher and just traded higher all day, and the close really powered higher here. And you can see the volume coming in at the end. I don't know what to say about the volume. We're getting towards the summer months, I guess. Earnings are coming up. I don't know, but we have the Fed behind us and the jobs report behind us. So, I just say, take it a day at a time. And if your stocks are going up, don't complain. I mean, the volume's not there. I wouldn't read too much into it. How about that? Anyway, like I said, the Nasdaq was up today on lighter volume. The main thing I want to point out for the Nasdaq is you can see the 10 EMA, which is this green line, it's now piercing through the 21, and the 21's curling up. They're both curling up. The RS line is trading higher as well, and you can see today's close at the high. So you got, about 3 hammer candles here in a row. The lows are above the moving averages. To me, this looks fantastic. It looks like a start of a new, a trend change, which actually happened here on this attempted rally. And it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days without a follow-through day. But it's not the end of the world. We can have one this week. We're just going to have to wait and see. But to me, I mean, this looks like a follow-through day. It's just the volume isn't there, but index going up more than 1%, and closing above the moving averages. This is all positive, real positive action, in my opinion, which, I don't know. I'm going to move on. I look at stocks, the index. I love having the tailwinds from the index, but because it really makes it a lot easier to just pick stocks and be successful in the market. There's 2 real keys, I think, for being successful in the market. That's identifying the market direction, which I think is higher now, higher lows it's making, and then stock selection. So if the market direction and you have good stocks, and you're going to be successful in the market. Today, Apple went down on news that Warren Buffett sold some. He's selling back here, folks. I don't know why people do this, but Warren Buffett was selling. Well, that's what that was all about. The big whale Warren was selling. Okay. So now they come in today, they want to be like Warren and sell. So I don't think it means anything for Apple. They're going to have to deliver going forward on products and services, and they're going to have to do better than negative 4% sales growth. They really have to start doing a little better with sales and earnings. Anyway, Microsoft, this one, it got up to its 50 today, and it looks like it just closed there. So it's got to get through there. Nice bounce. It had inside day, and then it had double inside days, and then rallied Friday, and now today, and it looks good, but it's got to get through that 50. I think it closed right at the 50 there. You can see it if I zoom in. You could see there SMA in the red letter 50, 413, 54 plus 0.00%. So it closed right there. So we'll have to wait and see on Microsoft. There's a lot of earnings coming out this week, too, that are going to affect some of these software names and retail and a lot of groups. But anyway, I'll get to that later. Meta Platforms, I've been talking about this. The sell-off here was way overdone just on CapEx spending, and now here we go, right? That day it traded down to what, 414. Saying if you're a patient and a long-term investor, you could buy here. I didn't think it would go right up to 465. My goodness, it's really wants to close this gap here at 484. So we're just gonna have to wait and see, but it ripped through the 10 and now here it's at the 21. So I'm keeping my eye on Meta. I just thought the sell-off was overdone and it's probably going to close that gap. Looks fine to me. Google is another one that had nice earnings response and then pulled back to its moving averages. Now it's traded higher the last 4 sessions. Amazon had a nice report. It had a nice response too, and it's near an all-time high. If I go to the weekly chart, it'll tell me 0.6% off its all-time high. So you can see that earnings line headed due north. So Amazon, Google, Meta, that they look pretty good to me. Tesla. Did not look at Tesla today, to be honest with you. Yeah, made that nice 37% move from the lows and now pulling back, letting the moving averages catch up. You're starting to see the 10 and the 21 pierce through the 50, so that's all positive. A big move, pull back, allow the moving averages to catch up, and then resume the uptrend. So Tesla's looking like it's changed trends. NVIDIA, this to me is the one for AI that you got to own, and I've had it on my ready list for a while because I own it. It's my largest holding. I think people should own it. And anyway, technically, you know, it sliced its 50 here on April 19th, which a lot of stocks did. That was kind of the low, April 19th. And now we've been rallying back, traded through its 50. You could see the 10 and the 21 starting to drive through the 50, which is all positive. You could see the RS line trading through the moving average. You can see the hammer candle here today, traded, you know, closed at 97% of its daily range. This all looks positive, but, you know, it's building the right side of this base rather quickly. And for me, just technically, I'd like to see it kind of trade sideways there around the 925 area, maybe a little higher, maybe, you know, 950, 967 is the old, well, the prior high. The all-time high was 974 when it reversed on March 8th. So it's been, you know, a couple months here that it's been consolidating, and they're going to report earnings on May 22nd. And to me, this is the you know, the AI theme. This is the king of AI, and I think they're going to deliver okay earnings. Anyway, I got to look at some of the semiconductor names today. NVIDIA's AMD. It looked like it was going down to 200. I had a lot of friends saying, man, this stock is a dog. We don't like AMD. You know what? This is the way, that's what this thing does. Today it was up $5 or 3.4%. Trying to fight through its moving average. This thing is a nightmare to trade. But, you know, it did make this run from 93 to 227. So you got to expect it to pull back and form a base, and that could take, you know, months. So AMD, I don't know, it just looks fine to me. That's kind of the way it trades. Broadcom, I would like to see AMD deliver better quarterly earnings and sales, though, the next time around. This thing's consolidating in a, you know, kind of a flat base pattern, just a trade range here. I would like to see it trade through this moving average, get above that old 1403, which is, you know, 100 points away, which is, you know, less than 10%. Broadcom can certainly do that, but once again, going up in lighter volume. Qualcomm, this is one that I have on my ready list this week. I had it last week. I like it. You know, it made this big move following earnings and pull back a little bit. I'd like to see it pull back a little more in the 178 area, allowing these moving averages to catch up. You can see the moving average here. If I could zoom in, you know, trade right through these moving averages here. And, you know, those are index moving averages, which is to me a buy sign. And now you're seeing the short-term 10, 21 curling up above the 50. So that looks like it's starting to get into a trend. So to me, you know, if the market stays healthy, that could be a buy the dip stock. It's just going to take some time. That is a, you know, slower moving stock. That's not going to move like, you know, NVIDIA or SMCI. Monolithic Power Systems had a nice, this thing's just consolidating in a base. It had a nice move on this day, 9% with volume following earnings. And now it's just kind of consolidating in this base, building the right side of the base. So the semiconductors are looking pretty good. I have to go to the crypto stocks because they were kind of beaten up and people are clowning on them that, it's all going to collapse, but it's just like the index, pull back, and now it's trading higher. So Bitcoin and this is MicroStrategy, MSTR. They look fine to me. CLSK, this one is a little volatile for me, but I have it on my ready list. I believe I put it on. Maybe I didn't. I should have if I didn't, because like I said, we don't want to be involved in this, but we want to partake in this. We don't want any part of this. But if it wants to do this again, yeah, I'll be part of it. But you have to be nimble, you have to be quick, you have to be flexible. And as long as this thing's going up, I want to see it trade above this old high here. Was it 21? That'd be nice. But I had the high, I had the buy point at what, 17 something? What was it from last week? Oh, 1873, the high of last week. So if it gets above there, I'm looking at my list now. I did not put it on my Reddit list this week. Anyway, a little volatile probably. That's why I left it off. But anyway, those stocks are looking pretty good. Coinbase is another one of the crypto stocks that pulled back below its moving average and now trying to trade through its 50. So that has some work to do. That's Coinbase. Have to look at the software names. Spotify. This one has been trading a little erratically since earnings. It pulled back before earnings, spiked afterwards, made a high of 313, then pulled back to its 50, and now it's just kind of grinding higher. We've seen some really bizarre moves after earnings. And sometimes you just got to give them a couple of weeks for it to, figure itself out. And kind of get the trend, and because they could trend lower and they could trend higher following earnings, but there's been a lot of selling and buying. So some of these moves that aren't clearly definitive and just trading sideways, you got to kind of work with them and be patient. That's a quality stock, and you got to stick with it. There's no sell signs there. This is Duolingo. This one, I know it shook some people out when it traded down here. Below the 50, I get it. Just forming a base though here, and you can see the base on base pattern. That old buy was what, 241.86 in the handle, now 245. They're going to report earnings this week, the 8th, which is Wednesday. So just going to have to wait and see what they have to say. It built the right side of that base fast though, from 194 to 248. Yeah, that's a pretty fast move. So we're just going to have to wait and see what they have to say at earnings. Datadog reports in the morning. I think, based on the Amazon and Microsoft earnings reports, I would think they're going to have a good report. I don't know how the stock's going to respond, but I think they're going to have a good report. And it's right there, 1% above the 21. So hanging in there. ESTC. This is a stock that I like. I like the way it's trading just because it's formed a base, like it's got all the sellers out of there, like sell, get out of here. I don't want this stock. Now you're seeing some nibbling coming in. It's not rocketing up the right side of its base, but it's slowly climbing, slowly grinding, and that's what you want to see. Some tight trading in here. They're not going to report till May 31. A lot of big earnings reports still coming up. AEYE, this is what somebody asked me to look at last week. And, you can't argue with success, performance is everything. And this one's performing, yeah, every day, 6%, 8%, we'll take that, right? Those are nice moves. Following this gap back here. And, what was that, April 9th? April 9th, yeah, 28% move, pull back to the 21, found support and ripped higher. So I know it's thinly traded, 182,000 shares per day, and it's only $20 stock. But yeah, I just wanted to show that's performance. I got to show some gappers because we have to be open-minded to new stocks making new highs, and could be new leaders as these new data points come in. We saw SMCI just fly higher following its earnings report in January, and now we're starting to see some of these other stocks gap. I'm just going to go through these quickly. I did this on Saturday. TMDX continues to show strength. I did notice today that it kind of pulled back, sold off, some profit takers come in, and then whoop, the buyers come in, traded up higher. So this thing it looks like a one-way stock to me. The moving average is trending higher. So yeah, like I say, you just got to be open mind to some of these stocks you might not know about or have heard of, but if they're breaking out and moving higher, they could, price discovery want higher prices. This is Tenet Healthcare, and that one's moving higher. ASPN, which is the chemical name that broke out. This one's trading higher, 3% today, tack on to prior gains. Carvana, they had a stellar report. No doubt this could be one of your new leaders here that you got to pay attention to. So, if they're trading higher, institutions are buying them and driving them higher. This is VMI. I didn't even look into this one over the weekend. I do plan on it though, because I like this move out of a stage 1 base with power, and now it's trading higher. Valmont Industries looks pretty good. Like I said, I do have to look into it. Lending Tree, the $50 stock broke out of a base and then just trading higher. You can see the moving averages here. The 10 and the 21 cross through the 50. The RS line broke through those index moving averages, and this one is showing power strength. I like it. All right. More gappers. I'm going to get to a couple more, and then I'm going to move on because, there's a lot of them and I can't get to every one of them. If you want me to look at one, just point it out, please. IESC, this is in there with the building, top stock and a top group with EME Core. This one is just blasting away here. Another 4% gain after Friday's gain of 18%. You got to take note of this. Yeah, this is a good, healthy market when you see this type of action. This is LMAT, they do the surgeries, vascular surgeries. Guess there's more and more surgeries these days. Post-COVID, it went up 11% Friday, and today and tacked on the gain, $75, new highs. We like that. Anyway, I'm going to move on because I got to get to the data centers. I mentioned SMCI, and everybody's giving up for dead on this thing because it did, have this vertical violation, and then it reported earnings and then fell out again. But it's up, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row. I don't know, 3 days in a row. Okay. So it's starting to recover here at 8:30. It did make that low on April 22nd of 671. So maybe that's a bottom here, and it's just going to consolidate in a base below the 50. So I'm just keeping an eye on it, keeping an open mind. Vertiv, they had presented at the Oppenheimer conference today. I didn't have a chance to go through that, the press release or the presentation, but obviously somebody liked it. It was up 4.5%, made a new high today. So Vertiv is kicking butt, if I can use that term. Just some more of the data centers are going to need the power, and this is Quanta Services, new high today. This is one on our leading stock list, just a quiet grinder. It reported earnings and traded down to the 50 on good earnings. So like I said, these earnings moves are just crazy. So you got to hang in there and don't give up on it. If your stock sells off a couple days, don't give up on it because, they're likely to bounce back, especially if they're quality stocks like Novo. What did Novo do today? Yeah, it sold off on earnings, and don't give up on that one either. Sorry, I digress. I was in the data center stocks, right? Eaton, one of our leading stocks as well. Yeah, just real strong stocks. So those data center stocks are doing really well, up 2% today. Sorry for the digression. Did I go through the HVAC? They're kind of in the data center place. These cooling HVAC. This is Fix. Yeah, up 6.5% today. Very nice. MOD is one that's on our ready list. I put this one on the ready list instead of Fix because it's a little more in a base where Fix is kind of extended, but it still had a nice move today, 7%. Looks pretty good as it undercut its 50 and rallied back through. So maybe all the sellers are gone and some buyers are starting to nibble on that one. Carrier, CARR, this one is a spinoff. Oh, wow, another nice move, new high today. So those ones look good. Anyway, sorry for the digression. I got to move on to the insurance stocks. I'm going to go through these quickly. This is Arch Capital making a new high. Oscar we have on our ready list. I'm a sucker for, chart patterns like this with this, you see the cup, you see the selling, you see some nibbling, and now you see a pullback, a shakeout, and now it trades higher at an all-time high. The problem with this one is earnings are tomorrow. So they better be good. We're just gonna have to wait and see the reaction. Anyway, I got to get to retail. Some people were harassing me about retail. I know the consumer's dying and retail's not a place to be, and a lot of the stocks have run a lot, so you got to be careful. But this is Fresh Pet. This is a food stock. I guess order it online and feed your dog better food. People love their dogs like I do. I don't feed them Fresh Pet, but nice 11% move on volume with following their earnings report. That's very nice. CROX reports tomorrow morning. I don't particularly like this action. It had a breakout from the last earnings, ran up to 146, undercut the 50, back to 118, and now it's just trading sideways, so it's taking forever. You see, it undercut the 50 really fast and now taking forever to rally back up to the 50 on light volume. But they're going to report in the morning. If there's anything like Skechers, I think Crocs could break through to the upside here. I have no skin in the game here, and I'm definitely a fan of Crocs, but you got to be objective, open-minded, and intellectually honest with yourself. And we're just gonna have to wait and see what the Crocs have to say. But I think their management's going to have something pretty good to say. Hey Dude is the one that's bringing them down. They've got to figure that out. Shake Shack, another. People give me a hard time about this. Yeah, it ran up to 110, pulled back to 92, but it undercut the 50 and ran higher. Today made a new high and then pulled back. So that's I don't know. It was up to 111, then pulled back to 105. Not a real bullish move there. That's a bearish engulfing candle, but we're just gonna have to wait and see with the Shake Shack. Wingstop made a new high today. I took it off the ready list, I'm pretty sure, but we like new highs. Anyway, I think that's it for me. Oh, A&F is another one. Yeah, I don't know. People want to argue with me. I don't care. It's just consolidating in a base. It had a massive run and it hasn't really consolidated for that long. Earnings at the end of the month, on May 29th. You can see this big run, and normally I would like to see a little longer consolidation like it did here, but it's going to do what it wants to do. I mean, they definitely have, strong sales and earnings. So I don't think that fad is a fad. I think it's a trend, and kids are buying Abercrombie and Fitch, very popular brand. Anyway, that's enough for the retail. I got to go to my favorite group, oil and gas. This is Cactus. Have this on my ready list. If you like oil and gas, Cactus is not a bad play. Nice cup with handle pattern, and it was up 2% today, so not bad. Tidewater had a massive move last week. That should be in my gappers as well, 13%, and then trading higher again today. Gotta love that. And Weatherford, oil and gas equipment, yeah, pulled back to the 50 for the first time since the breakout, found support. Now pull back to the 21. Weatherford looks fantastic. Then I have to get to our aerospace and defense. So these are a couple of areas that I'm not really fond of, but I just have to acknowledge the strength here. This one was on our ready list, and I put it on because I'd have to go through my notes. But I do like stocks that have shown ability to make a big move and then pull back and then trade tight sideways. And then it was up on volume last week. Okay, so that was it. So it was up 6.5% today. A couple members said they got in, so congrats. That was a nice move. Woodward, nice move, gap higher and trading higher, very nice. FTAI, another stock in the aerospace defense, trading higher. All right, that's it for me. That was a long video, except for I have one more thing in honor of the great Steve Jobs. A couple of earnings reports tonight. Palantir, I just saw the headline. It was a beat and raise quarter, but the stock is down. So like I said, don't give up on this just because it's down after hours. Maybe it'll just sell off and pull back to the 50. Have to wait and see. HIMS, this one is another one of these medical stocks. Pulled back here, had an inside day today and up 12.5% after hours. So maybe a big move from that one tomorrow. The semiconductor manufacturing stock, Microchip. I did not see the report. Down 5% in after hours. I'll have more in the morning on these earnings reports. Axon, nice base here, down 1.5, nearly 2% after hours. I'm not sure if that means a whole lot. That's a nice consolidation pattern, and it undercut the 50 and rally through. So that chart pattern looks good. we'll have to wait and see what it does, how it responds, and that could end up on our ready list as well. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll have more in the morning, and at mcstockcharts.com, we never give up.